Hi, welcome to Artificial Intelligence for Early Elementary. This is day 1 of a 10-day series. This is a Code 5 course by me, Charlotte Dungan, and I'm the AI program architect at the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics. We're really grateful to Infosys Foundation USA for funding this course. Today is day number 1, our intro to AI. What is AI? AI is a nickname for artificial intelligence. This is a kind of computer system that can learn. We give it this nickname AI because that's its initials. My son's name is Casey, and his full name is Calvin Curtis. So his first name starts with K and his middle name starts with C. So we call him Casey. Artificial intelligence starts with A for artificial and I for intelligence. And so we call artificial intelligence by a shorter nickname, AI. And that's another word you can use when you're talking about this class. So artificial intelligence is all around us. It's in our laptops, it's in our phones, it's in our computers, and it's even hiding in places like our cars, in our washing machines, in our refrigerators, and when we go shopping at the store. AI is built into a lot of things now. And so when we learn about AI in the next 10 days, we're going to learn about 5 big ideas. They have big words, but I'm going to just introduce them and then we'll keep going and talk about them more in detail. The first big idea is sensors and perception. The second big idea is representation and reasoning. The third big idea is learning from data. Our fourth big idea is natural interaction. And our fifth big idea is ethical impact. Are there good and bad things that come from AI? Yeah. So those are big words, but what is important is that with artificial intelligence, we can program computers to do all kinds of interesting things. Today, we're going to teach a machine how to identify 3 different objects. So right now, I need you to go look through your house or your school building or wherever you are right now and find 3 different things. So for example, you might have a pencil, you might have a pen, and you might have a tube of lip gloss, chapstick, something like that. Or you might have 3 different friends. Okay, so go find your 3 things that we're going to use that can be identified separately. You've got 1 minute. Off you go. Okay, do you have all your things? I hope so. All right, what we're going to do is use a website called Teachable Machine. Remember, a computer is a kind of machine, and this is one that can learn. So here we are with Teachable Machine, computer systems with artificial intelligence. So what we're going to do is go to this website, teachablemachine.withgoogle.com. You might need a grown-up to help you. So if you find your grown-up, they can help you type in this web address, and you will need a webcam, a camera that connects to your computer. It doesn't have to be a separate one. It can be built in. That's just fine. But in order for this to work, you're going to need a camera. Okay, so teachablemachine.withgoogle.com. Hopefully you've typed that in and you've got it open in another window so you can still hear me, but you can get to the website. So that website should look like this. Do you see it? All right, so we're on the Teachable Machine website, and Google built this for us, so it doesn't cost any money. What we're going to start with right here is this Getting Started button, okay? Let's click that button right there. And we'll get started. So in this Teachable Machine can be used in different types of projects, but today we are going to use this image project button right here. Okay, so you're going to click that one. Oops, let's reshare. Here we go. Gosh, grown-ups make mistakes too, don't they? And that's okay. When we're programming or coding or using computers, everybody makes mistakes. That's just normal. That it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong or bad. It means that you're a regular type of computer scientist. Everybody makes mistakes. So we're going to click this image project button, and we're going to get to a screen that might look a little bit scary, but don't be scared. Have your grown-up help you type in the name of the first object that you are going to use. So my first object is a robot. So here I'm going to click where this class 1 is, and I'm going to change this to the word robot. And that's what you're going to do for that one so far. And then we're going to use this webcam button, which is right here, and we're going to turn that on. Now, when you click the webcam button, it might ask you in your browser if you will allow permission for your camera. Make sure you allow permission for your camera. Do you see me right there? Look, hi. You can see my green screen. You can see that I'm using a green screen. I'm using a different camera for my webcam. So look, I can put a robot up here and you can still see my face. Isn't that neat? So when we train our machine, we want to think about what's in our background and try to make it as plain as possible. So if you have a white wall near you, it might work a little bit better if you have an option to have a more plain wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach the machine what our object is. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to teach it that this is a robot. And so the way I'm going to do that is to show my object in the camera so that I can see it here on the screen. And then I'm going to click the button and take some photos of it. And what I'm doing is I'm having the machine learn what a robot is. And it went just in that few seconds, I took 5 images, and I want to make sure to show it in different ways. So I'm going to show the side, maybe I'll show the bottom, maybe I'll show it backed way up, maybe I'll show it with a different, different angles without me in the picture. And I'm going to try to take at least 40 pictures. Now it's your turn to try. So let's take a moment where you'll get a chance to make your own title. You'll make some pictures on recording, and then we'll come back here and we'll try it again. Okay, here we go. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to record your very first object. Now we're going to go back to the Teachable Machine screen. And right now I have recorded 144 images of my robot. I'm going to now make another classification, and I'm going to use this cute little friend here. This is an owl. And I don't want to record him here where it says robot. That would be a mistake to have it say robot. So I want to go down where it says class 2. That's down below. And I'm going to make a new class called owl. OWL. If you need help with a grown-up to type these words, it's okay to just put a letter. So if you wanted an A or a number 9, it's okay to name your class whatever you want, as long as you know what the object is. The spelling is not important. So don't worry about your spelling, okay? So for this, I'm not going to be on robot. I'm going to be on owl, and I'm going to make sure that I choose the webcam button at the bottom, not up here but down here where it says webcam, and I'm going to click that one so that when I record here, I'm going to make sure to put my owl pictures in the owl section. So go ahead and make your next group of images in class 2. Then come back and we'll meet right here again, okay? Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to record your second object. Maybe it was a pencil or a pen. Maybe it was a furry friend. Maybe it was your spaghetti dinner. It could be anything that you can see. So exciting. So my third object, I've already done my robot. I've already done my furry friend right here. My third object, I dropped it. Oh my goodness, is an octopus. Here it is. This is my octopus friend. See, it has 8 legs. My octopus is named Cecilia Payne, and she is a famous mathematician who discovered about the size and composition of stars in the universe. She was so cool. So I named my octopus after Cecilia Payne. All right, so here we are again. We're going to make a new class with Cecilia. Okay, here we are. Got Cecilia. Remember, we don't want to record in our OWL class. We want to record in a new class. So this program only starts with 2 classes. So we're going to start a 3rd class. And this doesn't mean like school class. It means, the word class means like a group of things. And so in this class, we're going to say we need a group of octopuses, okay? So we're going to click that button at the bottom, add a class, and we're going to name this one octopus. But gosh, octopus is such a big word. I think I'm just going to say, well, Cecilia starts with C. So I'm just going to call this one C, just in case, you know, I'm not really sure about how to spell it, but I don't need to worry about that too much. So I'm just going to call it C. C for Cecilia. And then I'm going to train it just like I did before. I'm going to teach my machine that this thing is an octopus. So you go ahead and train your 3rd class and we'll meet right back here. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to train your 3rd class. Now the exciting part happens. This is where we have the computer learn. We're going to train the model. That means just like if you were practicing a sport and you train your leg to kick the soccer ball into the goal, we're going to click train model right here, and it'll take a few minutes. And what this is doing is teaching the computer by looking at all of the pictures you took and saying, oh, this one is a robot, and this one is an owl, and this one is Cecilia. And it, oh, look, remember, don't switch tabs. You have to leave it open to train your model, and that's okay. We just say, okay, and let that go. Now, if you took more pictures, it'll take longer. And if you took less pictures, it'll take shorter. Now you can see it says the model is trained, and it thinks my face is a robot. Do you see how at the bottom there's some output and it thinks I'm a robot? Am I a robot? Well, I'm probably not a robot, right? But I am closer to a robot than I am to an owl. And this computer doesn't have a way to say human. A lot of times I like to add a class at the bottom here so that my face doesn't count as an object. And so what I do is I make a class, and I can add one, and I'm going to call it nothing. And for that nothing class, what I want to show is literally nothing. And I'm going to take some pictures of my background without me in it. And then I'm going to put my face in the picture. And so this computer is now learning that my face is nothing. It is not a robot. It is not an owl. And it is not Cecilia Payne. So now, because I've added a new class called nothing, I need to train my model again to give me a new category called nothing. This is going to take another minute. So what we're going to do now is see if this can correctly identify our objects. Did we give it enough information to train correctly so that it can identify everything that we have here? And this is really fun to experiment. So keep your objects that you had close by. Don't put them away yet, okay? Because we're going to need all of them. And now look, we've got a whole new training set. And look, it thinks that now I'm nothing. I'm not showing it one of the objects. Kind of thinks sometimes maybe I'm a robot, but mostly it thinks that there's not an object being shown. So let's show the robot. There, look at that. You can see in the output that my robot is right there. Is it showing for your object? Are you able to tell? All right, let's look at the owl. Oh, it knows that that's an owl. And then let's look at Cecilia Payne. Oh, there she is, Cecilia Payne. Awesome. And now we can do a special trick. If you found maybe a pencil and a pen, see if you can find another pencil and pen. Like in this case, I might have trained my object to be an orange pencil, and now I'm going to find a blue pencil. See if you can find something that's similar. So for example, my Cecilia is an octopus, but I have a small octopus that my daughter made for me. It's a clay octopus. Can it tell that this is an octopus? It still thinks it's a robot. Wait a minute. Why does it think it's a robot? Do these look the same to you? To a person, we would be able to say, of course, those are very similar. They have 8 legs. They have a smiling face. They are both really, really cute, right? But maybe our program hasn't been trained correctly to learn. Let's take a look. If you'll notice, my robot is the same color as my octopus. Can you see that? They're similar. So is this one. I wonder why it's not coming out quite right. Let's see if this owl is the same. Let's try it. There's my owl. And what happens if I show this owl? It still knows it's the same. So sometimes a machine that learns from data can get confused about different things like shape or color. And sometimes it can get confused by things like whether or not I was close up to the screen or far away when I took those images. So your model will probably give you some accurate information, but you'll probably have to refine it. And that's fine. For coding, that's a normal thing. So right now, I want you to try out your model and find the trouble spots. Like my trouble spot seems to be this one, this small octopus, is not registering correctly in the category for Cecilia, right? It should be able to be recognized in this C category right here. You can see it should be recognized right here, right? But it's not showing up there. So what I need to do to fix it, and this is what you're going to do with your model too, is you're going to use your webcam and you're going to click the webcam for the part that's giving you some trouble. And you can train your model. You can help it to learn Because remember, artificial intelligence is a computer system that learns. So we're going to teach our system that this is also a type of octopus. And I'm going to make it up close, and I'm going to make it far away, and I'm going to make it go off the side of the screen. And then hopefully we have more images that will help it learn that this thing is the object that I want it to identify, and that it's separate from these other ones. Okay, so take a few minutes and add some pictures for the categories that are giving you some trouble. It's normal that it doesn't work all the way. These computer systems need to be trained lots of times to be really accurate. And the more types of objects you add, the more tricky it can be. So don't feel frustrated, just keep trying. We'll give you a few minutes to update your model. Hopefully you've had a chance to refine your model. Have you been able to identify many things? Gosh, I sure hope so. I wish I could see all of your projects. So what we're going to do now is continue with our refinement of our model. Here I have added some images of Cecilia. And remember that this isn't going to be accurate yet because I haven't pressed the train model button again. Every time we add images to any of the classes that we've created, remember we have a robot class, an owl class, a Cecilia class, and a nothing class. Every time we add something to one of those classes, we have to train our model again. It doesn't learn unless we push the train button. And as we add more images, it will slow down a little bit. That's completely normal. So my next test is going to be if this little guy right here will be found. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. You can see it learning and thinking right here. It's taking a certain number of seconds and it's got to do 50 different items. Then we're going to be able to try it out. Remember, don't switch tabs while your model is training. Just listen to my voice if you're using one computer to listen and to do the activity. Otherwise, your model won't train correctly. All right, mine is ready. Let's see. Does it know it's Cecilia? Yes, it does. It's much more confident now. Did you notice that taking the time to refine our model made it much more accurate? It's so cool when it works. I love that feeling. It wasn't working and I fixed it. Oh man, that's so great. And I brought a couple of other robot friends. Gosh, it looks like it thinks maybe I'm Cecilia now. Do you know why that is? It's because my body is in a lot of these photos. See how right here, these photos show me a lot? If your model is having a hard time recognizing things because you're in it, you can go through your images that you've taken and delete the bad ones. Click on that trash can. If you've made a mistake, this is how you can repair your mistake. You can just keep deleting those images that maybe show you or your background that are causing some problems when you're working on your model. I also added some images down here in the nothing category that show my hand, because my hand is in a lot of these pictures while I'm holding up an object. And we don't want to train the model to notice our hand as the item. So if you have if you're having trouble with a small object because your hand is in the picture, you might want to show several images of your hand. And you'll notice in my training set, I have my hand open and I have it holding something that's closed. And that helps it to more accurately identify nothing, so that when we're wanting it to identify from one of our classes, then it can be more accurate. Remember, computers can learn, but they only can learn with the information that we give them. And so if our information isn't as good, we forgot about the background, or we forgot about our hands, or we forgot about our shirt is red, and that might make it confusing when I have these pink type objects, right? We just have to refine it. And the more data we give a computer and the more accurate that information is, the better our pictures are, the more our model will work. So I'm going to test my model with a couple of more objects. This is a big robot. And look, it knows it's a robot, even though I've never shown this one before. I think perhaps you can see some similarities here with the things on the head, and the fact this one has a lot more gadgets on it, and this one has some gadgets, and maybe those are picking up in the model. And then I can try the same thing. Look, I've got this blue robot. Oh, wait a minute. That one thinks it's an owl. And I suspect it's because it's similar in color, right? So I might refine my model by adding some pictures in the appropriate class. In the robot section, I'm going to add some pictures of my blue robot so that my model can be more accurate. So when you're training a machine, you can't just do it one time. You have to make changes over and over, little small changes, and see how you can make your model identify things even better. It's so fun to train a machine. So don't give up, okay? Try one more time, add some more pictures that make your model work even better than it did before. Here we go. It's your time. You can do it. I believe in you. Keep trying. Don't quit. Gosh, you're teaching a computer how to learn. Isn't that so cool? I love Teachable Machine. I love artificial intelligence. It's so fun. So I worked on adding my blue robot. His name is Kelvin, and he's from the NC Science Festival. And I added him to my Teachable Machine. And one thing I wanted to show you is that when you train your computer and your model, sometimes you want to do things like show your object upside down or going off of the screen. And that way, no matter how someone shows the object, whether it's backwards or forwards, or maybe they just got the legs, it still knows that this is a robot. And it's pretty accurate, even if I only show a little bit, right? I can take his legs or his head and put it off the screen, and it still does a pretty good job of knowing that this is a robot. So those are all tricks you can do to make your computer, your model work even better each time. Another thing you can do, are you ready? The last thing. Oh, it's so exciting. You can upload images. That means if you have a picture of something you've done previously, or maybe you have something that isn't real, like a Pokemon or something like that. You might be showing Pokemon cards, but you wanted to show an image of a specific Pokemon. You can upload an image. Another thing you might show is, like, for example, if you were teaching your machine to play rock, paper, scissors, like that with your hand, you might upload pictures of scissors. So if you wanted to add an image that was not from your webcam, you can always use that upload button. That's an activity you can do outside of today's lesson. So today we learned about artificial intelligence. We learned it's a computer system that you can teach how to identify different objects. We call it AI for short. That's its nickname. We also learned that we can train with a camera. A camera is a kind of sensor, and we use that sensor to perceive an object. You'll notice that those are some of those big weird words we used at the start for our 5 big ideas in AI. We learned that computer systems can learn with data, and the more data we give it and the more accurate information we give, like the best pictures, we want to show that owl really good, right? We want to make sure that we can see all the details of that object that we showed, that we can turn it upside down. We can train it with multiple versions of the same thing. We can show more than one. And the more objects we give, the more data we give so that the computer can learn, the better. Computer programmers don't quit the first time. They try again and again so that they can get the result that they want. And when we make computer systems accurate, we make sure that they work for all kinds of people. Like if I train this on my face, I also want to make sure it works for my friend with a beard. I want to make sure it works for someone who has darker skin than me. And so real computer programmers also do this work. They train a system and then they test it with lots of different types of people. Hopefully the system would work if I took off my glasses, right? Or if I pulled up my hair, or if I had different earrings on. We want to make sure that the programs we create work for all people. So if you're doing this at home and you have someone else in your family or in your classroom that can show an object with a different colored skin tone, you might find that you need to train with another friend to hold up the object so it works with their skin color on their hand. That's a great way of making sure that systems work for everyone. Gosh, it's been so fun to learn with you today on our first day of artificial intelligence with Teachable Machine. Come back tomorrow for some more AI fun. We'll see you then.